And we're going to be doing a little bit of learning early on in the stream. And then later in the stream, I'm going to do a couple of challenges. One, obviously, for YouTube content, because, you know, people love the, like, some challenges and shit on YouTube. And number two, I think it'll just be fun to try to see me try these challenges and potentially fail. Alright, so let's talk about the Victor matchup, because I feel like everyone has a question about this. And yes, the matchup is still super easy.
30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Alright. So, you know, pretty common strat. You know, I sat here, made sure that they weren't starting my blue. Then I walked up to lane, built up a little bit of fury. I don't want to be pushing too fast, which is like why after I kill that minion, I just stopped attacking. I want to wait until I can build up my Conqueror when Valkyrin's here. And then as soon as I get my Conqueror up, I'm spinning in looking for a trade. And like 3 autos is optimal. However, if you get just 2, that's fine as well. And we're going to be looking for one more hard trade while we get the second wave into turret. Again, it doesn't matter that I got pretty low here, because as soon as I hit level 2, I have the potential chance to even dive him. Like, you guys have seen like level 2 dives from me before. So obviously here I get level 2 ganked. Well, I go to kill Valkyrin, and then I get ganked by Jax, and he would have died to this ignite, but he actually leveled up and got some HP back, so that was pretty unlucky. But anyways, even after we get behind in this matchup, there's still room to like beat up the Victor before he gets his augment. So in this particular game, he goes and pushes in, I think. But as you can see, he's pretty low on HP. And remember, I started Doran Shield, and because I died early, I just bought the Rejuve Bead and a potion. I think this is a better buy than Refill Pot. Just because you're able to use more of your gold and got more regen to survive Victor's poke. And basically, we want to set up waves for all-ins. So usually in this case, the Victor would just back here and go back and get like a Glacial Shroud or maybe like double cloth armor and boots. But instead he overstays because he wants to get his augment, and we punish him. Even without a gank here, as soon as we hit level 4, we could have gone for his all-in and beat him up. Like as soon as we hit level 4. And, you know, he... Basically, when you trade into Victor, you're going to spin in. You auto-attack him. You should be able to get 2 auto-attacks off before you get attack speed items. Before you stunned, and then you back off. And then your spin should come up before Victor's W. So Victor's W is a 17-second cooldown level 1. Whereas your E is a 13-second cooldown, which is also reduced by crits. So potentially, if you crit twice on minions, you have 5 seconds to trade back into Victor and go for the all-in before his W comes back up. So basically, you trade in, you burn his W, you get the 2 autos, he stuns you, you back off, and then you trade back into him before his W comes back up. It's kind of like how you play against Gnar, except Victor is like way easier to kill and doesn't even have any mobility or kite tools early levels to get away. But yeah, essentially he just dies here. And he's kind of silly. Because, if I remember correctly, yeah, he just TP'd back on a minion, and he just insta-dies again. But yeah, as you can see, like, even without the Kha'Zix here, I would have been able to set up a really good all-in pretty much instantly as soon as you get back to lane. And at least gone about half his HP bar. And then from here, like, lane's over. Because I'm able to just consistently all in over and over again. So, yeah, this is like early laning. Now, when Victor gets his tabbies, Iceborne Gauntlet, and his first augment, where he augments the Q, that is when he can start trading versus you and kiting you decently well. But that is a lot of gold that he has to go for. And therefore, you can punish him before he gets to those item spikes. So yeah, that's pretty much how it is. So let me go to the main topic for today. What I'm gonna be doing is I played a game off stream yesterday. As you can see here are the stats. Played with BOXBOX, LL Stylish, and NIGHTBLUE, and we were against a Poppy in lane. And I'm gonna show you how you play against a hard matchup and turn that into like really good, effective decisions. And how I played this game from start to finish, even starting in Champion Select. So, oops. Actually, no, I'm gonna match it. Download this. One second. If you want, I can go over runes too. So runes I took for this game: Conqueror, Triumph, Legend, Alacrity, Last Stand, Taste of Blood, Ravenous Hunter. And you take this into melee matchups like Poppy because you're able to consistently trade and get that Taste of Blood proc off. And also, especially against tanks, they're going to be extended duels, right? And the Ravenous Hunter healing is going to be pretty effective in long duels because you get Ravenous Hunter healing from your Conquer damage. Yo, BJ Rogers, thanks for Prime Sub 2 months in a row. I appreciate it, man. So yeah, Conquer true damage, T-Mat, your spin, and Rage Blade. Get healing from all that from Ravenous Hunter. Those all count as ability damage. So let me go and open up the replay. Alright, so let's talk about Champion Select. Now, what do you guys notice in Champion Select when you're looking at the champions that they picked? What is our win condition? This is the first thing you should think about before going into any League of Legends game. What is the strategy going into the game, and what must you do to win this game or carry this game? So when I take a look at their team, I'm against a pretty hard matchup in lane, but they are full AD. So full physical damage dealing champions besides, just a little bit damage from Janna. So for the most part, we are looking to survive the hard lane in Poppy, scale up to our items, and build to counter the enemy team. So, let's take a look at laning phase. So at first, I'm just kind of scouting. As you notice, I'm not sitting against this wall in case the Poppy invaded from topside. I don't want to get wall slammed level 1 into like a first blood. So I'm kind of just sitting here, and if Poppy loops around the corner, I'll just spin away instantly. So I'm kind of just chilling, making sure that they don't invade from here. My team's checking this. It's really important that you ward for your jungler. So bot side, they are going to ward this Pixel Brush. And for top side, I'll ward this Pixel Brush, and it's really good for really good information for your jungler to allow them to not get screwed over early. Because let's be honest, if your jungler gets screwed over early, that screws you over top lane as well. Because even if you get an advantage, like say I get an advantage over this Poppy, I won't be able to abuse it as much because I'm, I'm pressured by the enemy jungler being so strong, right? Especially something like a Kha'Zix. So, do anything you can to try to help your jungler in the early game and kind of play for your jungler for early. And as TRYND against Poppy, we're looking to scale. In this matchup, instead of taking Doran's Blade, like you can usually do against Poppy, you try to get an early advantage, I took Doran's Shield for a little bit of extra sustain and regen. Again, the number one thing I'm looking to do in this matchup is to outscale the enemy team because they're full AD, and I can build items to kind of fight against the duelists like a Zed, or maybe I can fight Poppy late game too once I get something like Infinity Edge and Rage Blade for all that true damage. Kind of cut through her. So I can still look for an early trade because Poppy level 1 compared to TRYND, like TRYND has a lot more all-in. Plus I have the Ignite advantage as well. Second. Dog is pushing up the door. Something you can do against Poppy, I'm not sure if I did the exact mechanic there, but kind of like you do against Yasuo or Poppy, anything with like a line skill shot that's kind of short. So Yasuo and Poppy are the two things that come to mind. You can walk up on the outskirts of the range of their skill shot, try to bait them into starting the skill shot, and then backing up immediately to make it try to dodge it. So here, I also notice I get the first two waves in their turret. This is important because the third wave coming up is going to crash into my minions, and this is going to make it push back to me. As you can see how the wave is, it's on their side of the lane, which means the next minion wave that comes up has a shorter distance to travel than my next minion wave, which therefore will cause it to push, because his minions are going to be attacking my minions first. So I'm getting a push in. I'm kind of just sustaining up. My thinking here in this particular situation, I don't think I have any kill pressure on Poppy. I didn't get enough crits. I didn't burn his flash or anything. And, Poppy is really strong, levels 2 and 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to farm, scale up. I'm going to try to stick back and just Q heal and sustain with my Doran Shield. And try to be as high HP as possible for when this big wave crashes into the turret. That way it's harder for the enemy Kha'Zix and Poppy to dive me on that big wave. So as you can see, I'm just sitting back. There's no minions for me to get right now, so there's no reason for me even to go. So I'm just sitting back and Q healing. I don't know if I go with this cannon here. I think I get the cannon under turret. I'm just sitting under turret. Heal. Poppy went back. She bought a Doran Shield for a little extra sustain and health. And what you do in this situation, since Poppy backed and got an item, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow push this wave into a back for myself. So as you can see, I'm not pushing the wave as fast as I physically can. Instead, I'm just kind of like keeping my Fury up, keeping my Conqueror up, and I'm pretty much waiting for the next wave to come. That way I can shove all 3 waves in, so this is 2 waves stacked. And if I can stack this 3rd wave into a push on the enemy turret, I can get free back for myself since Poppy has to deal with all those minions in her turret. Farm in her turret, she has to, basically has to deal with that while I get free back. Go back to the lane. And if the enemy Kha'Zix tries to gank me here, obviously he's not ganking me because he just died on the map over here. But if he tried to gank me, then I would be able to turn the gank because I'm a full Fury TRYNDAMERE with level 5 to level 4 advantage on my laner, plus I have all these minions to work with. The minions do a lot of damage in early game, plus I have Ignite. Again, I'm just crashing his wave in a turret. I'm backing off. I back pretty far away in case he try to do something like stop my back. So he's dealing with all these minions under turret while I'm getting my free back. And again, this wave is set up in a position where, because it's on his side of the lane, it's going to gradually push into me. And it's going to be a really good spot for me to just walk back to lane. And I'm not going to miss very many minions. Just because it's pushing to me, which means that my minions are dying faster than his. So yeah, I will discuss my build for this game as a counter to what their champions do. And I'm going to give you some insight on how you need to think about the game and your win condition. And like what items you need to build. Because obviously, like I have a standard build. If you type an ! build in my Twitch chat, you can get the build there. You can also take a look at my champ spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet of how to deal with every single champion in the game. If you type in !champs in my Twitch chat. And it's a Google spreadsheet, so just type on, click on the Google link and it'll be there. So again, I'm just staying full HP. When big waves crash into your turret, you want to make sure that you're absolutely not going to be able to be dove, if you can. And if you think you're going to be dove, then just back off turret. This Poppy made a mistake here. As you can see, she got that big... Remember how I slow pushed the wave in the turret so that I could get a free back? The Poppy slow pushed a big wave in the turret and she didn't take her free back. I noticed this and I can take advantage and try to get some pressure onto her. Because I currently have an item advantage. In terms of like how much gold I have in items in my inventory compared to her. So I'm going to try to use that plus this big wave to trade with her. If I can, at least. She's not like walking up. So she didn't walk up, so I didn't trade with her. Wave pushes in, and remember, big slow push wave into turret. If you can't dive your opponent, look to back. That way you can get some items. The wave's going to push back to you and be in a good spot.
Shut down.
So Poppy made a pretty big mistake. She's still sitting on just a corrupting pot and Doran shield, and now I have a full team at. I have Doran shield, I have Boots of Speed, and I have Cloth Armor. Remember, they're full AD, so we're building the Cloth Armor to build the Tabbies. Tabbies is just so efficient versus their team. In other matchups, even if they are full AD, we could build Zerkers just to try to like kill them. Like if we're in a Bruiser matchup or something. Say like Jax. Like you could still build Zerkers just to 1v1 him, even if they're full AD, because it's still worth for that 1v1. But because Poppy's kind of hard to duel for TRYND, I'm just going to go for the defensive stats and try to counter Kha'Zix's Zed Burst. So now I'm coming back to the lane. I ward, check for Kha'Zix, make sure he's not coming up here. And now I have team advantage. And if you have teammate and your opponent doesn't have equal wave clear of some kind, you can really punish and abuse them.
My right arm is a lot stronger.
Hey, Gupthorian, thanks for a sub, 18 months in a row. Appreciate it.
Full AD Tom, where's your tank pick fog kappa?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick a tank. Hear that, man. Even though he won this trade, I have superior assisting as my champion. And I have better all-in. Force roll. As you can see, these trades are going heavily into my favor. Drexy, thanks for a prime sub 6 months in a row. Appreciate it, man. I saw that she was looking at back. She was looking at like back in TP since she got herself in a pretty bad position where she's outclassed item-wise. And I'm looking for a dive here if I can. But it's hard to just straight up dive a Poppy. You need to have like pretty much perfect setup and you need to be able to kill them basically instantly. So getting her to about quarter HP is pretty much perfect. If I can, I'm going to dive her in this next wave. However, she backs and is looking at TP. So I just go ahead and back as well. And Poppy saved her TP for a play later. Or actually, no, my bot lane lost their turret, so Poppy is just lane swapping. So let's talk about lane swaps and why it happens. So their bot lane has an advantage over my bot lane, and they took the bot turret. And especially since I have a lead on Poppy, the enemy bot lane is looking to swap, get the Poppy out of the losing matchup, and they're going to look to try to pressure this next turret, or the next outer turret, as fast as possible. And if I don't make the swap as well, then I'm potentially going to be in 1 versus 2. So you have two options here. One, you can just beg your bot lane to swap top. That way you don't have to deal with this 1v2. Or you ask your mid or jungler to help 2v2 the enemy bot lane, who would be underleveled compared to you being a higher level because you're in solo lane, and your mid or jungler who would be higher level just because they're also solo. So it looks like the Riven came up, and we're looking to this. Janna walks out. I go in E-Flash, secure the kill on Janna. And we've dealt with the bot lane swap situation pretty well. I go and take up the CS. Poppy is still pushing out bottom. There's no turret here, so she has to push all the way up to here. And my bot lane swapped. We got a free kill. We used our superior strength as mid and top compared to just double bot lane who are under leveled to get a kill. And my bot lane swapped top. That way they can cover the turret while I deal with Poppy 1v1, since I'm already winning the matchup. Alright, let me turn off Fog of War for this portion, since we're going to be talking about how we kind of macro this game from this point. We're up 7 kills to 6, but obviously we're still down a little bit of gold, just because they have a turret, we don't. So, the game is basically even. And we're against a Poppy who is pretty much impossible to dive. How do we deal with this situation? Well, I noticed Poppy was rotating from here, so I'm going to try to cut her off from getting to the wave. That way she's denied some CS and EXP. And we saw a Kha'Zix topside on this ward when it was alive, so I know it's just Poppy rotating down to me. So I just take out the ping. I tried to get up here before she wallbanged me. Like, I tried to get up to about this position, or that way I'm not in wallbang range. But yeah, I just got there too slow. I noticed the red buff just came up. And I take the red. I see Poppy still pushing out bottom, which means they don't know I'm on this red, plus I have a pink here. If I was seen going to the red buff, or like on the red buff, the Poppy surely would have rotated, and these people that are mid would rotate down to me. Now let's talk about a play that I was looking for. That can work sometimes. I can't defend mid, right? Poppy still has to push one more wave before it crashes into bot turret. So I have about 20 seconds of time for me to try to look for a pick or a play catching someone out in rotation. So I see Kha'Zix walking down. So I'm thinking he's coming to his red buff, which he doesn't know is stolen. So I'm kind of just sitting here, waiting for him. I start my recall.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And I go back. So he didn't come during the time I had to try to look for a pick. So I just back off the play and go bottom to get the CS. So this, you gotta think about these kind of plays that you can make. I can't pressure Poppy under turret, so you gotta find other ways to try to get advantages. One way you can set up picks. Second, you can take neutral camps, set up deep vision, help your jungler or help your team make informed decisions. You don't want to just be sitting bot lane, right? Like, you got to be doing something with the time you have in between in between waves. And especially you don't want to be sitting bot against a Poppy so far extended, because Poppy can set up ganks on you really easily. And my Lee Sin's topside, so I go ahead and take Gromp. No harm done to my jungler. He wouldn't be going to this camp for a while anyway. I don't see anyone on the map. I only see Zed. And I don't want to be picked off going for this next bot wave. So I just back. I think I only have enough for a dagger, but I don't want to overextend when I have no vision. Fog War. Yeah, Kha'Zix is also bot side. So if I had gone bot and pushed out this next wave, there's a chance I could get by Kha'Zix and die. So remember, in this game, our win condition is outscaling 13 comp because they're full AD. And you know, all of us can build items that can counter a full AD comp. Riven can get like GA, Death Stance, Tabbies, you know, stuff like that. Black Cleaver. Lee Sin can get GA, like Randuin's, Tabbies. Orianna can get Zanya, Tabbies. We basically have a lot of people who can kind of counter their team. And to be honest, Zed isn't the best AD pick to go with a full AD comp since he has to build full pen. He doesn't have any like true damage or anything, or like mixed damage. It's literally all physical damage. So again, a push in. I don't see any way where I can kill the Poppy, so I instantly back off. Poppy has to deal with these minions. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go push out mid and try to get this mid turret. Because I can rotate to mid, push out this wave, and try to get mid turret before Poppy can rotate. Because remember, she still has to deal with this full wave, which means I have about, and I'm also faster moving around the map since I have Spinning Slash, and I just have more move speed because I have a Zeal item. So I'll ward here, try to see if Poppy rotates up. We toggle Fog of War, we see that Poppy is still bottom. Zed comes and matches me here. So I push out bottom, force Poppy to stay bottom. I'll walk to mid. Now Zed has to come and stop this mid wave from being pushed in. And I see a play happening topside. So I just go and cut off this Janna. So yeah, I got bot farm, I push in the bot wave. I got mid wave, push in mid wave. And now that gives time, since they both had to push out waves, gives time for our team after this play to back, recall, and then go mid and bottom to get these waves. Zed picked up weeks in invitation. I was thinking about going bottom to push that out, but I also saw Zed was topside, and I saw free wave. I saw Zed back here. I'm just kind of backing out. And again, Krugs are a dream. Really easy for TRYNDAMERE to take. Like, no issue. Just more farm. Again, Zed is another person where it's kind of hard for TRYNDAMERE to duel. If he has ulti, because he could just kind of 100-0 you and then kite you with his shadows, kind of like a LeBlanc can with her distortion. So I'm not looking for 1v1s here. I'm basically looking to be kind of like a split pusher that roams. That basically push out waves, force someone to go cover the wave, and then roam and try to make a play elsewhere.
Woot 7 months.
Staxon Jackson, thanks for the sub 7 months in a row. Appreciate it, man. So I'm looking to see if I can try to get something done on this end. But then I was like, okay. I can't deal with Zed, so he basically just burned my ult, he burned his ult, and then I backed off. So, and I also have to be careful because Zed's ult has a much lower cooldown than my ult. It's 48 seconds compared to my ult, which is 110 seconds. So you'll see what I do to kind of play safe. Yo, Falk Minion, thanks for the sub, dude. Appreciate it. So you'll see what I'm doing to kind of like play safe after this. Because I don't want to be caught up by Zed, right?
Double kill.
So one thing you'll notice is I don't use my spin here. If I use spin here, Zed could potentially shadow over the wall and get a big chunk of damage off me. So I don't know where Zed is, but he could have potentially been waiting over here. And as you notice, I also back off because I know Zed's ult is about to be up, just because I'm keeping in mind of his cooldowns. And I don't want to be caught out in case he like stuck in this brush or is down here or down here. I don't push out this wave because I have no ulti. He's 100 me. I don't want to have to burn my flash.
Blue team's turret has been
And also when I'm walking towards these brushes, I'm using my W to scout. So if my W lights up when I'm walking near one of these brushes, I know there's enemy champion in there and I can know to back off. So we see Zed going bottom, so I know I can push out top lane now. I'm safe to go.
killing spree.
And I think I also saw Poppy down here, so I know I can just get this turret for free.
Blue team's turret.
I see Poppy just back now.
Red team's
So I
turret
try to see how
has
much
been
damage I can get off the turret. I'm making sure she's not rotating behind me. I can set up for someone else who backed. As much sort of damage as I can, I back off. I check for camps. I don't see any camps, so I go and cut off people mid lane. And this is a pretty good fight just because they were so far extended. And Riven and Lee Sin and Braum can set me up pretty well for just some easy kills. So, got a good flank, they overextended. And we turn that into what I think is going to be Baron pressure. Their Kha'Zix is dead and we still have our jungler, however, their Zed is still alive. So I'm kind of playing wary. I don't want to like actually do the Baron. So I end up going Poppy instead. As you can see, I never even entered the Baron pit because I knew this was kind of a bad idea. My teammates started it, which baited the Zen Poppy to come close, which allowed us to kill. You don't always start Baron to just actually do the Baron. Sometimes you start Baron just to kind of bait the enemy team close so that you can pick them off, especially if you got a mana advantage. So now at this point, what am I looking to do? Again, push out waves and make a rotation. Look for, especially since I have flash, I'm looking for a spin flash play where I can try to one-shot the Sivir or Janna or something. And I also have good synergy with the Orianna because I can spin in, she balls me, and ult. She can also do that with Riven or Lutheran. So I take red with 1v1s. I put a pink ward here. So we have good vision on Baron. I'll put a ward there since I saw, I think the Zed top side. I wanted to see if he rotated down or if someone was also rotating up. I know I can't fight Zed 1v1. Remember that play when I was level 12, when I tried to fight Zed earlier? If I try to fight him, he kind of just ults me and 100-0s me, and then I have to burn ult, and then he kind of just kites. So these 1v1s are super bad for TRYND, but we can still play around it. So I have Lee Sin coming up, and she can set up some CC for us to kill Zed. Also, Zed used his W shadow on the to clear the wave, so he's a little bit vulnerable right now. And Lee Sin CC'd before Zed could go back to his shadow.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So, really well played by Lee. What I'm doing here, I know I can't fight instantly because I'm kind of low, but I have red buff, which heals a lot per second in my Q. So I'm just kind of healing up little by little. And I'm staying on the edge of the fight. I don't want to go in until they burn abilities, so Janna burned her tornado. So we can spin in. Orianna sets me up for a free kill on Sivir. Pretty simple. I'm picking up a lot of kills from these fights, so I'm getting huge. I go and start up the Baron since we got 2 picks. And we can zone off the Kha'Zix from getting to Baron if we want to. I have no ulti, so I have no interest in fighting. I ping my ulti to my team to let them know that it's down. And I kind of just back since I was sitting on a ton of gold since I picked up 2 kills. It was 2,000 gold, roughly. And this game, as you can notice, like, I went tabbies this game. As well, I'm going Guardian Angel. Now, why would we go Guardian Angel? It's an item that is historically bugged on Tryndamere. Sometimes when you're ulting, your GA will pop during your ulti. Which means that your ulti and your GA are both wasted. You can accidentally die and then use your ulti while you're in GA, wasting about 2 seconds on your GA. And also, it's more of a defensive item, and Tryndamere typically wants to go full damage. So, why the GA? Why in this one game out of like 1,000 would you build a Guardian Angel? Well, 1, full AD. Armor is super effective, and Guardian Angel like builds a chain vest and has some armor built into it. 2, stopwatch. Stopwatch is really good against Zed because it basically cancels out his ulti. So if I wanted to, now I can potentially fight Zed in the side lane and get some pressure on him. So this is a good purchase, you know, for these 2 reasons. And you know, when I get my full GA, what I can do instead, I could just go in as hard as I want to and not burn ulti and just use my GA instead. And then use ulti after I revive and fight from there, and I'll have full fury because my ult gives me fury after I revive. So this is like the one case out of 1,000 where GA would actually make sense. Why not Death's Dance? Well, Death's Dance, you still take the damage, it's done over 3 seconds, right? That doesn't help me fight Zed. So I can go something like Death's Dance later as like a 6 item, but right now I need GA because that's the thing that will help me fight Zed now. Because even with the Death's Dance, Zed does this full combo and makes me burn ulti.
Team has slain the dragon.
So I saw Zed back, I'm just taking Krugs again, trying to get as much farm as possible. I'm helping my team secure vision on Baron, so that's why I walked down. Oh, I didn't want to push this wave all the way out because my team wasn't really in a position of pressure as of yet. And I wanted to help secure my team vision on Baron while I walked down. And we got the pink ward, we red trinketed this area, so we know they don't have vision. So they're starting to suspect that we're on the Baron. So I start spam pinging the Baron because we got it low enough and I saw that their jungler wasn't really in a spot to contest, or at least I thought so. So I was just spam pinging my team so we knew as a team that we would just finish the Baron and then fight. So it's important to ping what the play should be to your team. If I didn't spam ping the Baron here, what if like Orianna or Lee Sin got off the Baron and tried to turn instead of finishing the Baron? That could have been pretty bad, right? Because we took all of the Baron AoE and have the magic resist and armor reduction. So the fight would go pretty bad. So I just pinged to do the Baron. NIGHTBLUE tries to steal it, but we secured it. We were able to turn the fight. Even if we didn't get the Baron here, killing the Kha'Zix at the start of the fight, even if they get Baron, is super good because it'll be a 5 versus 4. I'm going really hard in their backline, and I use the stopwatch here after I kill the Poppy. That way I can buy a team for my Lee Sin to come up. I'm able to kill off their whole backline. And again, I'm really fed, so I can basically just solo her backline. Especially if, I think Janna used her tornado, like, into the Baron pit, so she had nothing to kite with. So stopwatch, even though I didn't use it for Zed ult, it's still about time for my team to catch up from killing the Zed over here. Help me kill off the Sivir backline. And we push mid. And as people are coming back alive, I'm pinging that they're alive. You can't see it in the chat box, but I did that in game. And I'm just looking it back because I'm sitting on a ton of gold. Plus, we got Baron. I don't want to lose my Baron, especially as the split push, right? I had 2,600 gold. So I finished off my GA since my stopwatch was burnt. And I'm actually going to be going for Titanic Hydra this game. So why Titanic Hydra instead of Ravenous Hydra? I have a lot of armor. I have a good amount of damage reduction from Fan Dancer. And the more health I get, the more effective this damage reduction is from both the armor that I got and the Fan Dancer. And I want to be a frontliner for this team since it's like it's hard for me to to kill Poppy under turret, and it's hard for me to kill Zed in a 1v1 because he could basically 100 me and then kite me infinitely. So this is more of a team fighting Trynd build. I'm looking to group with my team because we have a lot of good synergy. This game isn't purely dictated by the 1v1 and sideline. I'm using my lead to instead team fight and be effective in fights. So we're building a little bit more HP, a little bit more defense. That way we can be on the front lines for our team. So again, like my ult is down still. It just came back up. I was just doing Krugs, I think. What was I getting? Okay, I didn't get anything. I just backed because I wanted to split push bottom instead of top side. So at this point, I want to try to fight the Zed 1v1 because I got 2-level lead. I got GA. It'd be helpful if the Zed walks in and face checks me. That's the ideal start of the fight, which is why I sit here. Once I see Zed popped up over here, I walk over. Again, I'm seeing if he's going to face check me into the brush. Because if he face checks me into the brush, then has to W shadow and then press ult on me, which the animations take a little bit of time. Maybe I can burst a lot of his HP and kill him. But he pink forward the brush. So I push out. At this point, I'm typing to my team. I ping here, as you can see, Trynd mustering with purple. And I'm typing to my team, hey, Zed could potentially be coming top, but be careful. So I got bot pushing in. I get this red buff. And again, I'm just looking for picks, walking around areas that potentially won't be warded. Maybe I can pick someone off in rotation. And we see Zed here. Kill his ass. And kill the Kha'Zix as well, and that's basically GG. So the reason why I went over this replay is like, not only was it a quality challenger game, that I didn't stream because I played it off stream last night because I just needed to play a decay game, and I wanted to show you guys this game. But also, it's a situation which happens a lot with Trynd, where you're against a team or a team comp that you can't split push, just like sit in the lane and split. You actually have to make rotations and go for some kind of team fight. So games like this is why Flash is so effective and why you should basically never take Ghost. Unless you want to take like Ghost Flash or something that's like a Jace. Oh, NIGHTBLUE Rage quit. Feels bad. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it and want to see this in the future. Leave a comment down below with what you think about the video or some things that you want me to do in the future. I would love to hear your feedback, and thank you so much for watching.